Alright, I'm back. For today, we're not going to the Echoes of the Eye DLC just yet. That'll come next time. Today, I want to get all of the trophies that I missed, and I also want to take a look at some of the stuff that I actually missed in-game. So to start with, I'm going to jump in this fire. That's going to give us a trophy for dying within the first 60 seconds of the time loop. That one's reasonably simple, but they're going to get more complex from here. The next one, I actually came reasonably close to getting this on the very first video. What I need to do here is roast some marshmallows, put them out, and then swallow them. And that's actually quite curious because I thought I had to do that 10 times in a row, but it turns out you just need to do that 10 times total, and that is good enough to get the trophy. Specifically, you need to set these on fire and then blow them out, otherwise they will sort of shrink after a while. We saw that at the end of the previous video, but yeah. Set it on fire, blow it out, swallow it, and all is well. We've got a bunch of really difficult ones at the model ship, but I'm going to leave those for now. Instead, I'm going to go to my ship and discuss something that I never saw, which is that if you hold the down on the D-pad, you can then use the right stick to look around, which would have come in very handy in Dark Bramble. If that was told to me anywhere, honestly, I did not see it, and I don't see it on the UI up on the top left or top right, so I'm really not sure if I missed something there or whether it was shown to me and I just completely ignored it. Anyway, the purpose of that is over on the right here, there is an eject button, which I had no idea existed. You can raise the little eject cover there. And we can push the button, like so. And as you can see, that breaks the ship. I'm not sure that serves any real purpose in-game. I certainly didn't feel like I needed it, but that is something we can do. Is there any way out of here now? I'm not sure that there is. There's no secret tunnel behind the waterfall there, and I think I might be stuck. Can I jump out? I can get close. No, I don't think we can sneak through that gap. Bummer. Alright, so let's meditate for a bit, and we'll go again. So with the easy stuff done, it's time to move on to the more difficult stuff, specifically involving the model ship. We need to do two things with this. The first is we need to crash it into the Atla Rock, the moon which orbits Timber Hearth, and secondly we need to crash it into either Hollow Lantern, or we need to crash it into the sun. We'll get trophies for each one of those. And quite frankly, I don't know how long this is going to take. I'll probably look at a guide to help me. But honestly, if you choose to crash this into Hollow's Lantern rather than the sun, you are a mad lad. I could not imagine trying to do it on Hollow's Lantern. The sun, yes, that's fairly easy-ish. But you're not colliding this thing with Hollow's Lantern. That is just not happening. I'm just waiting for the Atla Rock to show up. It says to land it on there, but I know better. We just need to collide with it. I think that happened because I touched the right analog stick. Yeah, that's it there. I've got to find some way of landing there. Oh god, this is much harder than it looks. And now the moon's gone. Back in a sec. I've been told to stand in this direction and look for giant steep to disappear. The Atla rock should show up in just a moment. And then we just need to go for it. We've also got a trophy to do with that satellite that just went whizzing past. Where are you? I can still just make it out between the branches there. It should be coming right about now. There we go, I see it. So I need to ascend this thing and put it on a collision course. That guy right there. Oh, am I too late? I think I'm too late. I'm too late. Dang. That was close though. Right. Please. Just clip the edge there. Just. Alright, so I've not checked the optimal timing for the next one. But what we need to do now is we need to send this thing into the sun. I'm hoping that holding it just like that is enough. That it's going to go off into space. The sun's eventually going to rise here and cross our path. Oh, what's the camera doing? I don't know. Oh, so is that giant steep again? I was just looking at that. Why is that back? Alright, well, the model ship is nowhere to be seen. It's out in space somewhere. I'm hoping that it's close enough to the sun, or it's going in that general direction enough so that when the sun passes by, it catches it in its gravitational field and that's it. I doubt it's going to work, but we'll see. Was the sun always that massive? Or if this doesn't work, then I suspect it's gone past the sun. Alright, so we're not getting it. That's okay. Pass the blast off now. Oh, look at that. It's directly above us. So maybe that'll give us an idea of... Oh, don't stare directly into the sun, kids. Or presidents. Don't do that. That'll give us an idea of how long it'll take to get there, perhaps. Looking at a massive ball of fire while listening to this lovely peaceful music. I'm also pushing up a couple of times and I'm worried that may flip me. Oh wow, there's the interloper. I never knew that the view from this place was so nice. And there's the sun station. Alright, so what's the advice on this one? The advice on this one is very annoying. We need to wait for the sun to be directly above the village, just like it was before. Then we take off, hold R2 to go up, then we push up a little bit, and then at some arbitrary points after that, we continue holding up. And apparently, we will collide with the sun. Eventually. We can't see exactly what we're doing, but it's going to work apparently. that satellite. We're going after that satellite next, once we've blown up this ship. Alright, let's go. Right, I'm holding... That doesn't seem right. Holding up all the way there does not seem right, so I'll hold it up now. Yeah, okay, that looks about right, I think. I'm holding up and I'm holding R2. If I see the sun sort of start disappearing at the top of the screen, then I'm holding up too much. But if I see the sun disappear below the bottom of the screen before I've died, before it gets blown up, then I'm too late. There we go! I don't get a reset button and I just got kicked out of that. Mika, thoughts? Hey, it's you. Slate said you be... I'm not doing your voice. Nothing! Oh, it would be so awesome if she chewed me out over that. Deliberately destroying the model ship by flying it towards the sun. That feels like a missed opportunity, game. There should be some dialogue there, I reckon. Alright, let's see if we can deal with this satellite now. This is the photo satellite. It's not the deep space satellite, but it's the one that whizzes around Timber Hearth. It's the very first thing that I intentionally looked at when I looked into the sky. We went to the museum downstairs, the exhibits from outer space thingamajig, and it mentioned the satellite here that takes photographs, whizzing around and around. And we could totally see it orbiting the place. We get no guidance on this though, so I need to see, maybe just back off a bit. I need to see where it is whizzing around and then try and intercept it. Okay, I see it. And all I have to do is bump into this. Okay, it's a little bit lower than I think it is. Move forward a bit. That's right, it passes directly over these things, doesn't it? Unfortunately, it despawned. I would have loved to have checked that out. It looked like a standard scout. That's really cool though. It's completely screwed up our ship. Well, not completely, but just a tad. Damage report is good. Alright, so what's next? I think we'll go to Giant Steep next. And we'll try something which I didn't think was actually possible. Simply because it's something I ran into when I played the game. It's somewhere in one of the previous recordings. I might do a little bit of an edit here and try and include it. But what we're going to do is we're going to temporarily leave the solar system. I'm just going to accelerate off in this direction. Yeah. It's super confusing because on one of the early videos, I tried doing that, or I just tried naturally leaving the system, and the autopilot told me, no, you can't do that, so I'm going to take you back in. And it definitely wasn't a case of me engaging the autopilot. Basically, it happened automatically, and that led me to believe that there was no way we could actually leave the solar system or outrun this supernova. That is not something that was possible. And it turns out we need to try doing that for a trophy, but we also need to do it for this particular achievement involving Giant Steep. I'll cut out a little bit here. Alright, that's far enough. Let's go back in. So the goal of this one is to get under the currents of Giant Steep without using the cyclones. And the way you do it is by getting a massive run up with the ship. Like, you can see how far away I am, you can see my speed, and internet sources vary, but we need at least 7,000 meters per second, 7 kilometers per second, to get in there apparently. Some sources say you need something much larger, like about 15,000 or so, but I'm going to start with about 7,000 to begin. Hopefully that will get us below the surface, and that is an alternate way that you can get down to the core without knowing about the cyclones. Having said that though, if you found this naturally, I do not believe you. It is just so much easier and simpler to find the information about the cyclones and go straight down. You can see the little arrows on the top there and on the right there. Basically, they tell me how to keep it centered so that my trajectory is in alignment. And you might think I'm being a little bit paranoid by trying to line it up this far out, but we're going to be coming in extremely fast. I'm deeply concerned that I may just go whizzing past it. Hopefully this works. Hopefully it doesn't immediately disintegrate our ship. Or hopefully we don't land on one of the 4 land masses there. 5 if you count the North Pole. I've got to imagine though that if this works, we're going to penetrate to the core, potentially contact the core, and that's going to disable our ship anyway. Alright, so I can see the planets. Oh, I'm not going anywhere near fast enough. That's nowhere near fast enough. Not according to the guide anyway. Alright, let's see. We need a North Pole. Didn't work. We are still above the white layer there. Dang, okay, we need to be more than 400 kilometers out. I won't do it on this loop because I won't be able to get back there in time. Let me do something else instead. Let me go over to Bristle Hollow if I can find it. Okay, fine, I'll look on the star map. It's nearby. And I'm looking for the gravity cannon. That's the South Pole. Okay, there it is, right in front of me. Didn't see it. What I want to do here is I want to land the ship inside the gravity cannon. Beautiful. I did not use that camera terribly much in my playthrough, but that was a textbook landing, I think. Alright, so now that we're here, we've brought our ship here, we need to get rid of the ship. Activate the gravity cannon. Farewell ship, it was nice knowing you. And with that said and done, I can now restart the loop. Let me try the Giant Steep thing again. Back in a sec. I did not mean to come this far out, but I got to about 7,500 meters per second. I started slowing down, and yeah, this should be an adequate run-up, but I'm terrified that if I'm going too fast, I may actually smash into the core. That said, I should still unlock the trophy, shouldn't I? All that matters is breaking the currents, getting below that white current layer into the area that you normally access using the cyclone. I think we're just under halfway back, and I've hit the prescribed speed. Let's take it up to 8,500, and then I'll coast the rest of the way. The next one's even more boring than this one, and it's going to involve basically trying to escape the supernova, going through a full 22-minute loop of moving away from the sun. I'll definitely be cutting that one out because you don't want to see that. But I really do wonder how far away we can get from the sun before it explodes. As per my first playthrough, I don't get this. I don't understand why on my first playthrough it forced me back into the solar system. I don't think the autopilot was activated. Alright, here goes. Please. There we go. That took a while to come up. I'm guessing there is a sweet speed in between breaking this and not going flying into the core. That's just a guess though. So yeah, if you are not capable of figuring out the cyclones, you're not capable of getting into the detector at the south pole of Bristle Hollow, that is an alternate way down. It'll take a little while and you won't figure it out without help, but that is an alternate way down. Honestly, I much prefer the cyclones. That's much quicker. Alright, so once again, back in a moment. The next one, it was worth a shot. All we're trying to do here is outrun the supernova for an entire 22-minute loop, just moving backwards. Again, I don't know if there's a threshold here or not, but I'm just going to hold down for a bit, and by that I mean for about 22 minutes or so, and I'll be back shortly. So another trophy we can get here is harmonic convergence, and that is where we hear all of the traveller's instruments at the same time. It sounds very familiar after that ending. My initial thought was that we could maybe get that from the North or South Pole, I don't remember which, at the Atla Rock, because Esker mentions that it's a great place to pick up the other signal scopes, and some of them definitely converged. I accidentally picked up this trophy, and by accidentally I don't even know how I did it, during the previous video when I landed on Giant Steep. I'll bring up the footage here, but you can see everything sort of converging there for just a moment. I think that was just sheer luck. I don't know why that happened, but if I hadn't unlocked it there, this is where I would be unlocking it right now. Alright, so I'm going to see how far I can get away from the sun before it goes kablooey. Hey chat, just because I'm incredibly bored watching this, I've timed it and it looks like we're gaining speed at a rate of about 1 kilometer every 20 seconds. The speed of light is just under 300,000 meters per second. Doing the calculation, it looks like we need roughly 1,665 hours in this ship, accelerating backwards like this, to reach light speed. Or if you prefer, just under 10 weeks, or around 2.5 months. Honestly, if we had this technology and an unlimited fuel source, that does not seem out of reach. I don't know why I'm talking about this, I'm just trying to fill in dead air that'll get cut anyway. Are we there yet? I've not been holding down the entire time, but it's close. I'm also noticing quite a few stars are going supernova, and I'll talk about that on the last trophy as well, when we get to the Eye of the Universe. We're going at over 60 kilometers per second though. That's basically the width of the entire solar system from the Sun to Dark Bramble. But yeah, I don't know how far the Eye is, but the Sun is still very, very visible from there. Just trying to deselect that, and it's not letting me. But yeah, the Sun is most definitely not visible here, so we are definitely safe from the range of supernova. I'd love to know what the exact range is, but I'm not going to do any testing. This is boring enough. The quick calc that I did, we can reach a maximum of 66 kilometers per second, I reckon. If we really, really try. Can we hear it? Can we hear the Sun go? Well, we can't hear it, but we definitely saw it. And yeah, we will be safe at this distance, but I don't suspect anything's going to change. Our memories of this loop are just going to be sent backwards in time. Nothing? There we go. That's different. It's like the game says, nope, you can't continue with that loop. You need to do something else. Yeah, look at the stars there. You can see them all going out in flashes of white there. Right, let's knock off another quick and easy one before I go back into a very long and tedious one. This one confuses me a bit as well because I've definitely suffocated in space. Let's get airborne. That should do. I think we're far enough away from the Atlarock. And basically all I want to do here is burn my fuel in outer space, and then it's going to switch over to using oxygen. And apparently using our fuel in that manner causes us to gain a trophy. It does confuse me a little bit because, oh god. No, I definitely don't want to go to Giant's Deep today if I can avoid that, and I also don't want to go to the Quantum Moon. Mind you, I'm not going to photograph that, so that is not going to happen. Am I far enough away from Giant's Deep? Yes, good. Speaking of, where's Dark Bramble? Hopefully nowhere to be seen. The thing is, I recall falling into the black hole as Roswell Hollow, emerging at the Whitehall station, and then we ran out of fuel, we switched over to oxygen, and then I suffocated. I'm not really sure why the trophy didn't unlock at that time. Maybe I need to be a little bit more irresponsible with my fuel, like I am being right now. Or something else, I'm not sure. Again though, up until very recently, I did not know we could actually almost leave this solar system. So who knows what else I'm missing. I know. I know and I welcome it. Got that noise. Hopefully once we run out, the trophy's immediately going to pop. Or maybe I need to use a certain amount of O2. Alright, dude, where are you? That looks like your crater there. No, that's not your crater. I now realize that these crystals are coming from the 5th planet. It's where Dark Bramble used to be, but they're obviously not from Dark Bramble. They're being caused by Dark Bramble, but it's not actually Dark Bramble. I definitely got confused with that when I saw us back at Timber Hearth, wondering if it was the interloper. Right, so what I need to do here is jump in the fire. Not like that. And then when I hit vitals low, I need to come in here and heal myself. And we basically repeat that about 15 times. The goal of this trophy is that we need to take 1000 damage at the end of a loop. So I've taken, I don't know how much, maybe 100 points or so right now. A little bit more than that actually. And then we need to survive until the end of the loop with a number that is in excess of 1000. Internally in the files apparently, the amount of hit points that you have is exactly 100. So you'll definitely need to do this at least 11 times, but reality is you probably need to do it about 15 or 20 to be safe. And then once that's done, once I've burnt myself about 15 to 20 times, I need to wait for the end of the loop again. Fortunately though, we do have a shortcut. We've got the magic of video editing, like so. And what we can do, and this is not something that I found in the main playthrough, we can doze off at the campfire here. And that is going to send time forward much quicker than just waiting. And by that, I mean it's not going to take me to 20 minutes on here. It will just be the balance to take me to the 20-minute mark of the time loop. Doze off is grayed out because I think the music is about to kick in. Hey Eska, can we talk to you about the impending death of the sun? I cannot. Am I in trouble here? Gravity looks like it is not playing nicely, or it didn't look like I was correctly oriented when I walked over the edge of that crater. I think this was the first mention of chairs. Yeah. The planets where Dark Bramble used to be, some of it landed on the Atla Rock, some of it landed on Timber Hearth, and I don't recall if other chunks are landed on other planets as well, but that's what we're looking at here. I do wonder what the 5th planet was other than a generic ice world. I don't know if we'll find out in the DLC or not, but it would be super nice if we did. Right, hopefully this unlocks Die Hard. There we go. So at this point I believe I have 4 left. I've not been closely tracking this, but let's do It Belongs in a Museum first, and let's take a detour to the High Energy Lab, because I missed something there for sure. Is that good enough? It is nice. How about now? Absolutely nice. What about now? Bloody hell. Right, so we follow this path until we hit a dead end. Then we turn around and hug the left-hand wall. Like so. Where am I going? Oh god. I thought I hit the top there. I didn't actually realize it was that easy to get out of those shafts. I've completed a game and I'm still learning stuff. Alright, we're going up there. Then up here. Hopefully I don't miss. There we go. So something I absolutely missed here, which is what I'm showing off now, is I need to find the appropriate scroll. I thought it was in that room previously, but it is not. I don't think it's this one. It is not. This was Raimi and Pi doing their experiments with the black holes and the white holes. Yep, okay, here we go. So, they reproduced the anomaly in arrival and departure times, but Pi is unconvinced that it's more than a simple equipment error. And Pi says to that end, we've decided to try adding more energy. I imagine the Sunless City's energy supply should prove sufficient. They reroute the energy for the experiments, they run a new test, and they confirm the hypothesis. And it changes everything. Here's what I missed. What we can do here is we can open this up. We can grab a white hole and a black hole combination. And the game really wants me to fire a scout here. You fire a scout, it pops out at the white hole. Now the Nomai determined that yes, it is coming out of the white hole before it goes through the black hole. But they determined that timing to be 1/100,000th or something like that of a second. And according to that note we just read, they tried increasing the power. And they saw it visually. What I missed here was that. If we move that over here, the experiment is now powered. And if we fire a scout at the black hole, you can clearly see two scouts there. Error duplicate signal. It pops out of the white hole before it goes into the black hole. And that is the fundamental theory that the Nomai exploited to create this 22-minute time loop. They're supplying it with an absolute butt-ton of power in the form of the sun's supernova, and it's creating a loop long enough to sustain 22 minutes. The reason I'm showing you this is because this is how you can also unlock the You've Met a Terrible Fate trophy. If you fired a scout in there, and then you remove... I don't know if you can remove either of these, but let's just say there's two scouts there at the moment. And if you do that, two scouts will remain. Like that. And the fabric spacetime does not like that. That is definitely one way that you can unlock it. Another way that I've seen of doing it is to fire a scout into the black hole in the center of Ash Twin, right at the end of the time loop. Because if you do that, you have to then do that for the next loop afterwards, and so on, so that you don't break continuity. It's actually kind of a cool thing, but it's also kind of annoying because apparently if you do that, and then you make progress on the ship's log, it doesn't save on the next loop. I think I just got extremely lucky seeing myself at the start of video 13 and then immediately going for it and dealing with that shit immediately, because if I'd actually made progress on that and lost it, I would have been very frustrated. It's a cool little Easter egg though.
obnoxious. It's great.
Don't know what that was at the end there. Alright, let's continue. Alright, 4 minutes should be enough. This time we're going to the aforementioned center of the ash twin. We are grabbing the core. At least by waiting there for a few minutes, it means that I don't need to orbit the equator for as long. Where is it? There you are. Just coming perilously close to smashing into Timber Hearth there. And yeah, at this point I can see they're right in front of me. Wow. I can see that the north and south poles are exposed. And more importantly, these two towers are exposed. And am I too late? No, I'm not too late. I've got to get into that tower there. And I am going to need my ship after this, so let me just park it at a safe distance over here. The sun station. We'll be doing that one next. I'm not looking forward to it. We'll just go over to this tower and wait for the sand streams to come back. Just reading the trophy description again. Apparently the other warp cores will work as well. The ones that we were playing with earlier. But you know what? I feel it's more thematically accurate and more fulfilling to grab this one. We're going to go in here, grab the core, and then we're going to take it back all the way to Timber Hearth. We're not putting it into the vessel, we are taking it back to the observatory. And I did not check it out last time, but I want to check out the walls of this place. I really do want to see if they're exactly the same as the walls in the Zero-G cave. Or perhaps Mining Site 2B, although I don't remember Mining Site 2B terribly well. It's been too long. Yeah, look at that. It's the ore that they mined from Timber Hearth. Exactly the same type of walls we see inside the Zero-G cave. Alright, so let's grab this. That's what I came here for. Let's listen to this lovely music again. This is kind of great. Where am I going? Oh, wait. But yeah, apparently the cores from the high energy lab that I was just playing with will work as well. That sun is very much in the way. I wonder if we can talk to anyone in the village now, and they'll say anything different, given that we're holding the key to their entire existence. But again, they died 390 years ago along with us. Relationship status is complicated. Alright, there's our crater. I think I owe it to myself to land on the actual pad. I haven't done that at all during this playthrough. Lovely. That was weird. Hey Slate, check this out. Oh wow, we get something new. Did you know it's just an endless void outside our solar system? Yeah, I'd stick to exploring our solar system if I were you. As much as I hate to admit it, our ships aren't deep space worthy. Nothing new with you, which is probably for the best because I feel like discussing this subject with a kid is... I mean, it's not going to matter in about 10 minutes or so, but even so, it's grim. Oh, this is new. Oh my, and here I thought I'd heard your ship take off. Was your adventure only a short one? Tell me, what can I do for you? Nothing new. You're back already? Is everything okay? Yeah, we're not dropping it off here, we're actually dropping it off in the observatory. Wow. What are you doing back? Did you forget your spacesuit or something? Dude, I'm wearing my spacesuit. Nice. Everything okay? Seems kind of early for you to be back from space. Did you need something from me? Definitely not. No one's querying this. Where am I going? The two children here. They're actually saying new stuff because I've blasted off. Nothing new there. What about you, Spinel? Listen, go to space or stay there, but pick one or the other. You're scaring off all the fish. Fish and tune, fish and tune. Yeah, I didn't think this one through at all. I can't imagine Hornfells or How's gonna give us anything new. What about you? I've forgotten your name. Again, a child. Arcose. Nothing new there. Gossan? You're back awfully soon. Everything alright? Slate didn't do anything dumb like install a self-destruct button, did they? There's an eject button, and that's basically the same thing. Right, so as soon as I cross the threshold here, another trophy should pop, and that is for us bringing back a very rare item, such as a warp core, or in this case, an advanced warp core, back to the observatory here. Like so. Nothing new there. Hornfells? Nothing. Right, well I've brought this thing here. I am kind of tempted to just go to the campfire and doze for a bit, just to see what happens. I didn't want to do that. Let's drop it here. Let's go back to the campfire, have a rest, and watch the final supernova. Oh, the music stops. I don't agree with that choice at all, game. Actually, let's get up into the ship. As much as I'd like to view it from the planet, I'm not convinced we'll get a good view. The ship, however, is an entirely different story. It would be really funny if I smashed into the Atla rock right now. Again, gravity is kicking in so hard. We're matching velocity, but we're getting pulled towards the sun. The music doesn't really do anything special when it gets to this stage, it just sort of fades out. And that's it. We escaped it by going to the eye. Well, did we escape it? I still don't know. But this is it. I'm not coming back from this. You are dead. Did we get the comedy credits? No, we don't. We do get fairly standard credits here, but I'm just Xing over those because we've seen those already. They're slightly different to what we saw at the end of the main game where we went into the eye, and they definitely didn't have the humorous notes there when we broke the fabric of spacetime. Interesting. Right, the next one, I have definitely practiced this a bit. I don't think I'll be successful on my first attempt, but we'll give it a go. The next one involves landing and accessing the sun station without using a warp tower. So I definitely tested at the start of video 5 when I saw the sun station. I thought, yep, okay, let's try landing on that, and quickly determined that it was not possible. However, there is a trophy for us, which means we're going to be doing this. I did definitely practice this a fair bit on Nolt, and I'm starting to get the hang of flying. I've still got some way to go, I reckon, but we'll see how we do here. So the height we need to be at before we go into the sun, I think it's around 2,200, 2,300. That's basically very close to the point of no return. You can see down the bottom there, it's got the indicators showing how far up we are. And the problem we've got is we need to match speed with this thing or exceed speed with this thing so we can catch up to it. But in the process, we also need to be moving down towards the sun so that we don't go flying off. It's really tricky and it requires a very steady hand. Like you can see on the left there that I'm basically putting full thrust down at the moment to move into the sun. And that's just so I don't go flying off. But yeah, I've had some practice of this, as you can see. What we're going to do here is land on the platform, if indeed you can call that a platform, and then try accessing it by doing a spacewalk. And that is much easier said than done. This is not a proper landing platform. You can see it's not actually constructed, but I can bring it down around here. And right now I'm holding full down thrust at the moment. I'm going to let go and then move the stick left a bit there. You can see I'm sort of tilting over, but I need to let go of the thruster for a sec. Like that. And that's not actually helping me, so let me move around that way. The guide says to try and position yourself at 1 o'clock. Like if you see the door on the left hand side there, at the sun station on the opposite side, if you imagine that's 12 o'clock, I want the ship to be facing roughly 1 o'clock. And from here, I need to check if I'm wearing my suit. Hopefully I am. I've just got to go out and go for it. I probably will not succeed. I'll probably need a few goes at this. But let's see how we do. We can target that. And just like that, I think it's gone. Nah, it's gone. That's how easy it is to fall out of this. I'm trying to move down, I'm trying to move towards it, and it's gone. It's brutal. The ship's gone, I can't get back to it. Even if I could, I wouldn't be able to take off and survive without falling into the sun. Let's see how many attempts this takes me. I'm reasonably good at landing there, but getting across, is a whole different story. Right, the last one was easy, but this one's taken me a very long time to get here. I'm scared that the sun's actually going to start expanding before I can land on us. There's so much work to get here, and it can all be undone, or it will be undone, I'm sure, in half a second. Alright, let's go. Oh. I think that's it. Maybe. No. Yes. No. Maybe. Don't know. Might be okay. Please. Please. If I contact that, that's fine. Might be okay. Please, please, please. Ah! No! Fuck. It's much harder than it looks. Really. Second go. If you ignore the go that I sent directly into the sun, but second go on landing. I don't think the timer is here, which shows us exactly how long it is before we, you know, fall into the sun. Can I go across there? I totally can. Although, no, hang on, I can't open it from this side. Right, let's just go for a trip into the sun. I'm sure nothing will possibly go wrong. Dang, I didn't realize that was a thing. We can definitely get burnt in campfires and whatnot, but I did not realize we could actually burn to death above the sun. We can go into the sun, sure, but I didn't realize there was a hurt box around the sun. Right, 2 more to go. First up is Archaeologist, and this is going to be a fun one. By that, I mean I'll have to do some significant editing here, I think. This one involves filling in the ship's log, and the DLC is not included, so none of this stuff on the right-hand side messes in blue. But there's going to be stuff here that I've missed. I'm sincerely hoping that the vessel is not included with that, because if so, I have questions. I'll find out very shortly, I guess. But what I'll do is I'll go through each of these entries and make sure that I've got them according to the guide. If not, I'll be doing some searching. Back in a sec. Alright, I have been through everything. It looks like I'm missing 2 things. Firstly, we need to go back to the vessel. I believe I need to pick up the warp core. I need to actually see the warp core for myself to see that it's broken, and that may update the ship's computer. The second thing is, apparently I'm missing some stuff with Chert. It doesn't say so there, but I might need to look at a guide and try and figure out what's going on, because there's a whole bunch of additional logs that they have which are not showing up. Let's go to Dark Bramble and get back to the vessel and see if I can figure out what's going on here. So apparently something else that I've missed is that I can do this. I can go into here, or into rumor mode, and I can mark that location on the HUD. I definitely had some issues with a certain escape pod back in the day, but you can see there that the vessel is now marked. Apparently, I can now just follow that, and that will take me to the vessel directly without needing to go into the Nomite grave. I haven't had a chance to test that, so let's take a look. Hang on. Really? I thought I had to go into the red one. Is this a troll? Am I going to get trolled by an anglerfish here? Maybe not. I'm surprised by the whole duplicate vessel thing. I see the red dot there though. Yeah, okay, I've got to go into the red dot very clearly. We are just getting trolled here. Things are rotating. Or it seems like it's rotating. I don't know. Oh, look at that. It says the vessel. No, now it says duplicate signal. Whatever. We're going to pass through here and then we're going to take it very easy. We can see the lights of the anglerfish there. Oh, God. Alright, so we're going to hold down and take a look around. That was a terrible idea. Hopefully we don't collide with those anglerfish. I think when we get to about 1.5 kilometers, that's where I can turn the ship around, take a look at the eggs, and then go for the HUD marker. Yeah, turning's pretty safe. But I think if I touch the thrusters when I'm too close to any of those anglerfish, that is it. Alright, so I'm not getting out of here in one piece. Let's meditate once we've done what we need to do in here. Unfortunately, almost ran full speed into the wall there and cracked my visor. Unfortunately, I don't have the warp cores today, so I cannot restore gravity. But hopefully it's as simple as just picking this up. No? Okay, I might need to do some research. What have I missed? How about I try that? No. How about I try activating the coordinates? That is something I can do. But maybe we'll get a notification here saying, no, you can't do that because the vessel is not powered. I'll put in the legit coordinates for the Eye of the Universe. It's so much harder to do this in 0G. And then the last one is this. Alright, that ain't working. That's not working. It was definitely something about a warp core. I thought coming here picking it up would be enough, but that is not it apparently. Okay, never mind, that's it. We just had to insert the warp core. I mean, I don't see the points because it is very, very broken, but that is enough to trigger the final ship log for the vessel. The vessel's warp core is long dead. I mean, I could have told you that, but you know. Alright, I need to figure out what to do with chairs. I've only got 2 entries in the log for them, but apparently there's 5. And it looks like it might legitimately just be dialogue. Aha, okay, I've just read a little bit more. Apparently we need to talk to chairs multiple times within the time loop. They have a campfire next to them, which is perfect. What I can do is go there immediately, talk to them, then doze off at the campfire, talk to them again, and so on and so forth until the trophy pops. Alright, so I think I've seen most of this. I'm definitely not going to say that because that broke them last time. Yet we've seen that they were updating the star charts. I've asked about exploration. They mentioned using the little scouts. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've got all this. I don't think there's any advantage to going through here. I've done those 4 and that one broke them, so I'm not going to choose that option. Right, so it's telling me I need to do it around a 15-minute mark, so let me doze for about 14 minutes and I'll wake up and see if there's any new options. Okay, cheers. Oh, you're back. Say, have you noticed anything unusual about the stars lately? Something seems, how to put this, off. I've seen, what, 10 supernovae already? 12? They're in the double digits now, and that's, you know, not normal. Not normal at all. Yeah, they mentioned earlier they saw 2 today, but now they've seen 12. Was there something you needed? Why are so many stars doing that? I have no idea. Massive stars go supernova when they reach the end of their lifespans, so it's possible that the stars are older than we realized. Or maybe our models are wrong, and they don't live as long as we expected. Honestly, I'm not fond of either option. If our charts are wrong, what else is wrong? And our sun? No, I shouldn't jump to conclusions. I'm probably overlooking something. That's it. I just need to collect more data. And continue playing a drum. No. Is that new? I don't think so. I'll be here studying the stars for a while. Yes, I think we've seen that. I didn't see anything new about the other options underneath. No, this is new. Well, I originally came out here to update our star charts. Now, though, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with the stars. There are too many supernovae. Why are so many stars dying out? I've never seen anything like this. Frankly, I'm worried. And a little scared. Is this the part where we tell them that we're stuck in a time loop? That's not new. Yeah, nah. That's what I'm saying. Watch out for the stars. I mean, sand. Okay, well I didn't see the ship log updates. Oh god. We are parked very precariously. Let me just fix that right now. How about that? We've still only got 2 records here. I'm going to doze for exactly 1 minute, and then speak again. There is a note on the guide that says, when the music starts, speak to them, you'll get more entries. But I really would have thought that would have triggered some entries for sure, because they're definitely now talking about a lot of supernovae versus the 2 that they saw earlier. The stars! They're all dying! There's been too many supernovae for it to be anything else. We're next, do you understand? Our sun! By half's name, we're next! Why are the stars dying? I don't know. They're old. Far older than we realized, and now all of them are dying. What does it matter? It doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. Nothing matters anymore. All my research, my life's work, wasted. Wasted, you understand? Oh, that font size. Jesus. Oh, wow. They're getting snarky. Why, isn't that great? Do you know what? I found a few things myself. Most of them have to do with the sun exploding. Oh, who cares? What does it matter? Nothing matters anymore. I've read that already. Christ. What do you mean, we're next? It's the stars, you see. All the other stars are dying out. Oh, why did we have to be born at the end of the universe? And our sun, it's... the star charts. Why? Why did I want to update them so badly? I didn't have to know, but oh no, I had to update the star charts. I had to go looking for things I shouldn't have. And now our sun is about to... I don't feel well. I'd like to be alone, please. Alright, we can't say a loss here. Where should you go? Where can anyone go? Can't you see it's too late now? Who cares? What does it matter? Nothing matters anymore. The sun will probably blow up before you can even get there. And me, all my research, again, same thing. Minor variance. Just how dangerous is that big column of falling sand? Not as dangerous as what's about to happen to our entire solar system. I don't feel well. I'd like to be alone, please. I can't believe this. Alright, so that's one update. Did we get one line or two? Also, can I find Shirts Camp here? Probably not. I'm looking, but I don't see it. Two more. All of the stars in the universe are dying, including our sun. The stars are simply dying from old age. Apparently, they're much older than we realize. Is it really that simple? Or is something triggering this? Because I have been thinking about the ending, and obviously we see a lot of things explode at the ending, and that was me thinking, well, maybe that's being caused by something, but maybe it's natural. Maybe we legitimately are at the end of the universe. It's just that for everything to blow up at the same time, that's either really, really grim or it's a hell of a coincidence. Alright, well, it says to wait until the music starts, so I'm just going to sleep here and wait until the music starts. Thoughts, Chess? Hello. Come, sit with me, my fellow traveller. Let's sit together and watch the stars die. Oh, that's grim. If it helps, we're in a time loop, so we won't really die. That's a lovely thought. Is that how you're coping with this? Does it help? A time loop, you said. I like that idea. Playing the drums at the end of their life. See, even this isn't safe from the ash. Church has become catatonic in response to our sun's imminent death. And yet they're still drumming the drums pretty damn well. It's a shame there's no crouch button. I'd love to crouch down next to them and just watch this sun go supernova with them. You first. Drumming until the end. Alright, I need to make a backup of my save game, and I'll be back in a sec. Right, the save game has been backed up. What I need to do here is start a brand new expedition. I'm purely keeping the old save game so I can keep the ship's log. Delete all progress. Done. Before we go for the final trophy, there is one thing I absolutely must check out though, because I mentioned it in the main playthrough, and I'll be doing everyone, but mostly myself, a massive disservice if I did not test this out and see what the hell happens. I'll meet you when we're leaving the observatory. So I have been giving this some thought. I assume that the probe cannon we saw firing at the start of this loop is the one that finds the eye of the universe, because otherwise what would happen is at the start of this loop, when we woke up, that would synchronize to the first person who walks past it. And that may be us as we're coming in, but it would certainly not synchronize to us as we're leaving right now. That one's a little bit odd in that it seems to be storing our memories rather than feeding us our memories from the mask. I guess it makes sense, but it's a bit weird. How? I don't care. That thing activated because the Eye of the Universe has been found, and therefore it's time for the Nomai to wake up, be connected to the statue. That is a signal. They're now going to go into the center of Ash Twin, pull the core, which stops the time loop and stops the sun from going supernova, and then they're going to the Eye of the Universe, and the rest of the universe, the Harthians and any other species that might be lurking out there, are free to evolve along their own paths, and everyone lived happily ever after. As we know now though, that is not the case. We've reached the end of this solar system's life, possibly the entire universe's life, and the Nomai are extinct, so they can't pull the core. We can do it, but that potentially has devastating consequences of its own. Anyway, the whole reason I'm doing this little diversion is because I want to go to Giant's Deep, and I want to speak to Gabbro. The first time we spoke to Gabbro, we were aware that we were in a time loop. But this time, we've literally just seen the statue, we are not aware that we're in a time loop. I would love to know if we get different dialogue here. I'm pretty certain we will. I just suppose I can land on that side. Yeah, look at this. It looks like I can actually get everyone to converge from here. It's tricky though. I think I just got very, very lucky on the previous video where everyone converged and the trophy unlocked itself. Okay, Gabbro, what do you have to say for yourself? Presumably he has been linked to a statue. Nice, it's you. Good to see you made it here in one piece. The first solo launch is a doozy, isn't it? I think that's the same. So hey, don't laugh, but I think I might have had some kind of spiritual experience with a rock shaped like a face. Me too, buddy. You're saying the statue I brought to the museum started glowing at you? Yeah, sounds about right. 1 minute I'm standing on an island looking at a Nomai sculpture on the beach, and the next thing I know, it's looking back at me, glowing. It replays everything I've just done, like it's been watching me through my own eyes, you know? And then suddenly it stops and everything's normal again. It didn't seem bad, just weird. Were we the only ones who saw that happen? I tried radioing Hornfells and asking them about it, but they told me I must have just nodded off out here and gotten confused. Then we talked about dreams until Hornfeld told me to go refill my oxygen tank before I talked myself to death. So that's what's new with me. But hey, this is your first solo voyage, let's talk about you, you know? How's space treating you? Not now. Let me quickly walk up here and set fire to myself. And I do realize now I could go there and check, maybe I'll splice it in here very briefly. But I do realize now that outside the statue workshop, the statue's eyes were open. I didn't actually realize that on the main playthrough. I think I said they might have been closed, but that is definitely the statue that connected to Gabbro. That is how he retains his memories of being in this time loop. So now that I've done that, I want to try that again. Don't recall if I saw this. Oh, hold up, you're going to want to get the launch codes from the observatory first. Did I just die, or... no? You have a bad dream or something? I want to ask how you got the code, so hurry up and launch before Hornfels decides to ground you for medical reasons. I want to see whether the new cockpit stays attached during liftoff. I want to go back there and see if we immediately go into the dialogue about time loops. But even if we do, it's going to be slightly different because we've already spoken to him. The first time we met him, it's like, oh, you're here. Also, I think I'm stuck in a time loop. It should be something completely different now. Anything new? Okay, here's a weird one for you. I think I might have just, like, died somehow. I radioed Hornfels at the observatory to ask them about it, but they're convinced I fell asleep out here and had a nightmare something. Do you remember, dying a few minutes ago? Maybe? Yeah, we definitely died. Okay, cool, that's what I thought. It was all way too vivid to be a dream. I radioed Hornfels again to ask if they had died too, but I'm pretty sure they thought I was being metaphorical. I think I've read that one. Well, if you remember dying, then I guess I didn't just fall asleep and have a weird dream or something. But stars above, what's going on then? And then there was that thing with the Nomai statue earlier. Come to think of it, when I died, I saw what I'm pretty sure were my memories going backward, just like the time with that statue. Do you think the Nomai statues are related to us dying somehow? So, we died, but we aren't dead? That's pretty unusual for Harthians, and indeed any other species. I am going to need to do some serious thinking before I come up with any theories. Maybe I'll have figured something out by the next time you come by. Okay, so I assume the next time we come by, he is going to theorize about a time loop. That's so weird though. When we spoke to him the first time on the main playthrough, we immediately said, yeah, we're stuck in a time loop. It makes sense, I guess, that we spend a bit of time in this loop, we realize what's going on. But man, I was not expecting the game to be quite this reactive to it. Let's go speak to him once more, and then I think we'll look for the last trophy. I was hoping you'll be back. Something really weird is going on. Here we go. Do you think we're in a time loop? Because I think we're definitely in a time loop. Yeah, a time loop makes the most sense, right? Or at least, it's some kind of fidgety time business. Hard to say what's happening to the shape of time exactly, but let's go with loop for now. So it looks like you and I are the only ones who know we're in a time loop. And even if you tell them about it, no one remembers by the next loop. What's with that? Maybe it's because we both made some seriously intense eye contact with the Nomai statue? I'm seeing my memories replay each time I die, just like I did when the Nomai statue on the beach opened its eyes and looked at me. So maybe no glowing statue, no time loop awareness? Okay, so it's mangling little bits of dialogue from the stuff that I've seen previously into new dialogue. I think that's going to be my leading theory, but if you find out anything new about the statues or the time loop, let me know, okay? I'll be here. I'll see you in a second, Gabbro. Yep, that's it. That's all we're getting. It's kind of crazy that we can do that. We can do the first 3 loops, come here, speak to him, and we get unique dialogue. And it looks like on the 4th loop, or the second time after we speak to him normally, we can get this skill to meditate. That actually blew me away. I did not know that was a mechanic until the very end of my recording session. I hit options, I went to reset, and it showed meditate. That actually blew my mind. I picked up a new ability and then ran around for about 45 minutes without realizing it. Alright, getting out of this. It's time. We're going for the last trophy now, which is Beginner's Luck. This one involves reaching the Eye of the Universe in one loop. Technically, we don't need to complete the game, which adds this game to the list of games that I've played. I mean, there are many that exist, mostly arcade games and mostly trophy-based games, but don't tell anyone, where you can get the platinum without actually completing the game. And this game is also one of those games. The trophies in this game don't relate to progression at all. There's no trophy for, say, finding out the face of the Nomai by getting into the center of the interloper, or finding the Black Hole Forge, or picking up the warp core. Normally companies make those kind of trophies so they can track how their players are doing. But for this particular game, Mobius said, nope, you know what? We're just going to put some really random trophies in here. Things that you can do, things that you can have fun with, but nothing that actually relates to progression, other than the Archaeologist trophy perhaps. That is the one where you need to fill in the ship's log. So, long story short, we need to get to the Eye of the Universe without dying once. And there is no way in hell you are getting this trophy without at least having played the game. Even if you're following a video walkthrough, I don't think you'll be capable of doing this, simply because there's too many things that can go wrong. In terms of the information that you require, you need to know where the vessel is, and that in turn requires other information like knowing the location of the escape pod, finding the escape pod, and knowing that the anglerfish are blind. Otherwise, you'll never reach the vessel. You need to be able to get into the center of Giant's Deep, which means you need to know the trick with the cyclones, and you need to know the trick with the jellyfish. And then you need to get into the center of Ash Twin, which you saw that I was capable of doing it accidentally, but the reality is I did need some information about knowing how the warps worked. And I definitely went there twice before I figured out exactly what was going on, and that was after using the warps at the White Hole Station. But there's so much more to this game than just that, and when you have that moment of realization that you're going to pull the core and you realize what that means for this world, this solar system, this universe, it takes on a whole new meaning, and it's wonderful, honestly. This is a great game. So, first things first, we're going to In-Between. This is purely so we can pick up the distress signal. For a moment I thought that was a quantum moon. It's a moon, but it's not the quantum moon. The alternate is that we go to Bristle Hollow, but honestly, Bristle Hollow is a pain in the ass. Let me just match velocity there. And we can see the blue light there. Now, unfortunately, we cannot do this from in the ship. We need to get out. There's the escape pod. I can pull this out and go left and right, and nothing happens. I actually have to land the ship. Let's land over here. We get an unidentified signal nearby. That is escape pod 2, and that gives us the distress beacon frequency, which is critical for this next part because we need to track it inside the ship. Alright, I now need to waste a bit of time, unfortunately. I need to orbit the equator here and wait for the towers to expose themselves. So let me cut that pass out. I'll be back shortly. Ultimately though, the route that I'm running here is basically identical to what I did at the end of the previous video. We're going to go in there, grab the core, then go to Dark Bramble, then follow the signal to the escape pod, fire a scout, get to the vessel, and then we're going to plug in the warp core and go on our merry way. The only thing that really changes here is that I needed to grab the distress frequency. Everything else is basically the same. I don't think I'll cut any of this out, just so we can listen to this lovely, lovely music again. Up we go. Prepping this for possibly the last time, unless it's required in the DLC. And you know, if I die on the way to the vessel. All of these things are very possible. Once again, the sun's in the way. I still don't fully comprehend what's going on here. And in my defense, neither did the Nomai. They mentioned time and space is all effed up in there. I don't know about time, but space certainly is. I also personally think we're being shrunk as we go in here. And that lice on the left worries me. No, that's a seed as well, okay. What about that lice? Oh god. Nearly did it. I am taking it slowly through here. The reality is we've got plenty of time. We went into Ash Twin at the 8-minute mark. And we've got, I don't know, about 12 minutes to navigate this area and get onto the vessel. That is plenty of time. Like I was saying earlier though, if you're trying to follow a walkthrough, you've never played this game and you're trying to do this on your first playthrough of the game, I would be impressed. Just understanding the mechanics of how to fly a ship, how to move around, that sort of thing. I reckon you would struggle. So if you boot the game up and you manage to do it on your first go, even with a guide, I think you're doing extremely well. And if you're doing it without a guide, well, I don't believe you. You would need to be psychic. Right, this takes us to the Nomai grave. God, that is such a grim scene. All of the Nomai here, all 8 or 9 of them. I counted 8. We've got time. Actually, we've got 9 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One at the back there, 6, 7, 8, 9. There could even be a 10th maybe around here. I've got enough time to count the Nomai, chat. That's how confident I feel at the moment. But yeah, the vessels in there, they couldn't follow. It's just sad that they all suffocated here. That's no way to go. I guess it could have been worse though. They could have been attacked by the anglerfish. Just like what's about to happen to us. Mobius, why would you put these inside the game? Just why? Right, when I see the eggs, I think I can go for the seed. And that would take us to the vessel. Sounds like one is very close nearby, and I'm not referring to that one up there. It sounded like it was coming to my, above me and to the right. Once again, I'm heading straight for this vine, and I think I'm perilously close to that one up on the top left. Okay, we're here. And you've already seen me input the coordinates here, so you know I can do it. You know I'm good for it. We have gravity. We have our favorite ball. Oi. Okay, I'm having problems here. You know I'm good for it, but I'm making a shit ton of mistakes all of a sudden. Alright, how about that? That is beginner's luck, and that is our platinum trophy. Now, I did do a little bit of testing on my alt just to ensure that I could do that before recording it. And I did see something here, which I did not see in the main playthrough. If we go out here and look at all these stars, you can see they're all just exploding, and that's going to progressively get darker and darker. I can pull out the Sigroscope and I can look at those. One by one, they're either going to wink out of existence, or they're going to explode. And that star over there looks really bright, and if you zoom in on it, yeah. That has to be a DLC thing. I don't know what it is yet, just from the color of that thing and what we saw at the start of video, what video was it? Video 11? That's got to be a DLC thing. Don't know what yet, but I dare say we'll find out. Anyway, I definitely saw that while I was here waiting for that sun to go nova, and I am going to wait for it, and we're going to watch that together. Amongst all of these other exploding stars, something is here, moving, orbiting the eye of the universe. I say orbiting, but it's a fair way out, but we can see it clearly, so you know what? I consider that to be orbiting. Alright, so I'm going to put a quick cut in here. I can't imagine that thing in any way, shape or form causes the sun to go to supernova, but I find it curious that I'm zoomed in all the way on the sun here, and they're showing on the same shot. I find it curious. There goes our sun. It's by far the brightest of all of the explosions that we see here, and that makes total sense because all these stars around here are further away. That's kind of similar to the image that we'll see later in the game as well. Eventually, all of these stars will wink out. They'll either disappear or they will explode. Yeah, I can pretty much count them on... Hell, they're all gone except that one now. That's the last that remains. They're not quantum stars, that is, I don't look away and then they suddenly disappear. Literally, the sky is fading over time. Alright, so enough of that. Let's go finish off this game. So it has been a couple of days since I've finished this, and I've been giving it a lot of thought. Ultimately, I think the reason this ending falls a little bit flat for me is because of the way this game is designed. It is basically an exploration sim / discovery game where it is both your goal and the player's goal to gain knowledge. In order to complete the game and get onto the vessel, which we can't see because it's over the horizon now, and in order to make progress and to do anything fulfilling, you need to gain knowledge. And you do that by wandering around, looking at various things, making connections, using your brain, stuff like that. That's your goal, that's the game's objective. And you saw at the end of the previous video that I did try to ensure that I had everything ticked off in the ship log. That is both me as a player, just, trying to do the right thing and trying to see everything that I can see. But I think that's also thematically accurate to your character, who is an explorer, who is trying to learn things, trying to document things, and so on and so forth. You do all that, and that's great. But then you come here, and the game throws the rulebook out the window. You've got no chance of interpreting this from a rational point of view. And before you say it, yes, I completely understand that that is the point. We're entering an entirely unknown area where the rules don't apply, where it's quantum, all bets are off. The eye represents changeability, so any attempt to classify it or observe it or anything like that is going to be fraught with danger. You're not going to be successful. And that's just completely opposite to what the rest of the game offers. I get it. I've got to say I'm not a massive fan of it though. It's fine to end on an ambiguous note. I just found it a little bit flat. But I want to be super clear about this, and I'll pause it wherever I have to pause it so I can say this. I don't feel that my opinion of the end of the game changes how I feel about the game as a whole. I've played plenty of games which have quote-unquote bad endings or unfulfilling endings, and that has really taken the sales out of the game. I can confidently say this is not one of them. This game is fantastic. It's just that the ending didn't quite do it for me. That's all. Now, in my testing on the alt, I also saw that we don't get the same lines of dialogue here. We see about the radio tower. One fellows noticed a curious anomaly in one of the photos, but it ultimately went unexplained. That is because I have not touched the stranger or whatever it's called on this particular save file. We get the same thing about the anglerfish. But if I go over to the Nomai fossil here, the Nomai who came to our solar system were following a signal from the eye of the universe. We never figured out how they died. That is not what I saw on the main playthrough, where it clearly said they died due to Ghost Matter. I don't know if this represents the universe or just our solar system. Recall that the stump in the observatory was just our solar system. That's all, nothing more. And yeah, it took me a moment, but we look at a map for a moment, but then we get back in our suit, and we're now floating in a little area above a forest. Where we see all these stars, or possibly all these systems or galaxies, and they're all winking out of existence, as Chert was saying. And with respect to what comes next, again, I think I get it. Basically, we're either dead at this point or in a quantum state, along with all of the people that we see very shortly. And I did confirm, and we'll see it in just a moment, we're not going to see Solanum here. The way I see it is this is not the quantum eye of the universe creating versions of our fellow travelers and putting them here. It's doing it based on our memories. I've not spoken to any of them. They're all going to show up. That must be memories from when we knew them earlier. I can't think of any other reason why Solanum would not show up. I did do some research offline because I don't know if the whole cosmological thing of creating a new universe through music is actually legitimately a thing or not. And no, I don't mean that by, oh, someone actually created the universe through music. But on the main playthrough, I was immediately reminded of the music of the Aina from, I don't know how to pronounce that book's name, so I'm not going to, but it's basically the cosmological myth from The Lord of the Rings. There was God and his underlings, and they basically created a new universe, a new world, Middle-earth, by singing a song. And it was those themes in the song that gave rise to elves and men and dwarves and whatever else. And it was also those themes in the song which also led to the evils in the world. I was immediately reminded of that by this game's ending. And I don't know when that's in other forms of literature or not. I did see something called the Music of the Spears or Harmony of the Spears, but I don't think that's it. It's close, but it's not quite it. And yes, Solanum is nowhere to be seen, because we haven't spoken to them on this playthrough. So whatever the eye is doing, it is based on our memories. Because Solanum is on the quantum moon right now, both alive and dead, but they are not here. I'm not sure what the symbols on this thing are supposed to represent. It could be literally anything. And if we weren't dead before, we're definitely dead now. But look, any complaints I have about the ending, they do not overshadow the original game at all. This game is fantastic, and I'm so glad I played it. And the best part is, it's not over. And based on what I saw at the very end there, looking out of the vessel's window, seeing that thing in space, I can see that the DLC is going to have an impact on the main game somehow. On the main plot? Well, I mean, it's literally called Echoes of the Eye, so who knows what I'm in for next. Anyway, I need to take a break for a bit because I've been recording for about 3 hours. Coming back to this, just for that little last section there, and also doing the trophy grinding was a lot of fun. And yeah, I'll be back very shortly for Echoes of the Eye. And if you're wondering, no, our universe is not 14.3 billion years old. At least that's not what they reckon. They say it's about 13.7. So whatever we're looking at here, it is definitely not, quote-unquote, our universe. Oh, we don't get the thing down the bottom right. Or the scars. I've got a feeling the scout only appeared because I tossed that away on the previous playthrough. I fired it into the eye and then it was never to be seen again. I'm not sure why we didn't get the campfire though. Again, maybe that's a ship log thing. Alright, let's go check out Echoes of the Eye. Back in a sec.